colder temperatures are on their way to Southeast Ohio. We take a look at what you can expect this weekend.
Plus, auto workers reach a major agreement with manufacturers.
And in sports, we take a look at tonight's high school football matchups. Newswatch starts right now. Welcome to Newswatch. I'm Morgan Anderson.
And I'm Jessica Stelzer. It's Friday night, and across Southeast Ohio, people are heading out to support their local football teams.
That's right. Joining us live with all things high school football is Gridiron Glory host Grayson Wolf. Grayson, how's it looking out there?
Thanks, guys. It's another exciting night in the 740. I'm here at Unioto High School for our game of the week. Along with the one that's going to be played right over there are 4 Showtime games and 4 digital games. Conference championship and playoff implications, a flurry tonight in high school football. The game that'll be played right next to me is Zane Trace and Unioto. For the Pioneers, it starts with Blake Phillips. He'll play all over the field. Running back, he has taken snaps at quarterback, and he has a nose for the ball on defense. Zane Trace started the season 0-2, but since starting SVC play, they've been perfect, and they're looking for 3 straight conference crowns. As for Unioto, they're led by quarterback Newton Hoops. He is the passing yards leader in the Sherman's history. He'll need a big night tonight, and Caden Cutright and Connor Dolinson will help out as his main weapons on the outside. And if Zane Trace wants to go through the air on this secondary, just ask Luke Gullion of Piketon how he felt after the 4 interceptions he gifted the Shermans. Trimble and Eastern, a game that has been circled on calendars all throughout the area. Xavier Cunningham is the go-to guy for the Tomcats. He had 5 touchdowns in their win over Southern. The Eagles will play the same run it till the wheels fall off style. They dealt with injuries all year, but with a guy like Riley Barrett as your feature back, you can beat anyone in the TVC. Now to the FAC. Chillicothe travels to Miami Trace. A lot of playoff implications in this one, as Miami Trace is in, but looking for a home game in Week 11, as they're right on the cusp of that. Chillicothe is 1-6, but they have a puncher's chance. Tough sledding though, as they have games against Washington Courthouse and Jackson after the one with the Panthers tonight. Waverly and Wheelersburg is just straight up fun. Jace Hurd is a dude, and we're going to highlight his season numbers tonight, but the task is difficult with the Pirates. Wheelersburg is just 3-3, but they are used to running through SOC competition. With a win tonight, they'll set up an SOC title game in Week 10 with Portsmouth West, who took home the title game last year. And finally, a huge game in the MVL Small. Rashid Sasay and West Muskingum take on Morgan. Sasay is another standout we're going to highlight on the show, and with a Tornado win, they'll be 2 easy wins away from a title. But the Raiders are a scrappy team that's also undefeated in conference play. It'd be an upset, but don't count out Logan Nicewanger and Morgan.
Whew, talk about a lineup, Grayson. What else is on the slate for tonight?
Yeah, as per usual, we have 4 digital games that will be highlighted during our digital rundown. South Point at Chesapeake is a battle of Region 19 teams. South Point is pretty comfortable sitting in 12th at the moment, but a Chesapeake upset would do a lot for the Panthers' playoff chances. Megs at Marietta play on the gray turf tonight. Marietta is sitting on the right side of the bubble in Region 11, but Megs is looking to be out of it in Region 19 at 1-6. Paint Valley welcomes in Huntington this evening. The Bearcats needed a comeback last week to beat Piketon, but they've now won 5 straight. With a win tonight, they'll position themselves nicely in the SVC race, awaiting the winner of our game of the week. And finally, Coshocton at Crooksville. Crooksville was the darling of the first 4 weeks, but have come down to earth, and Coshocton picked up their first win last week. Don't forget to tune in to Gridiron Glory tonight at 11:30 on WOUB. But for now, I'll send it back to Morgan at the desk.
Thanks, Grayson. There's certainly nothing better than Friday nights in Gridiron Glory.
Not only is it football Friday night, it's also homecoming week here at Ohio University. For those out at the game or celebrating here in Athens, forecaster Isabel Izko joins us live from Baker University Center. What's it looking like out there, Isabel?
Right now at Baker Center, we're looking beautiful. It is in those 70s. It's feeling nice out here, but will it be feeling like this for the rest of the weekend? For our weather, we're going to be looking to those past 24 hours. We have seen those temperatures fluctuating and being in those 80s, and now we're looking in those 70s, but we're going to be dipping as we go throughout the week. As we're looking through those temperatures, in those next few hours, we're going to be seeing temperatures in those 70s, and then once we hit about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, we're going to be dipping into the 70s, 60s, and once we start dipping, it will not go away. Today we've had those temperatures, that temperature high at 74, and that temperature low that will be hitting us tonight at 42 degrees. 42 is a lot for us being used to those 80 degree, 70 degree temperatures, but honestly, it's pretty seasonal for around here. Looking at tonight, we're going to be again in those 40s, partly cloudy skies, and you can see that we're going to be impacted by this low pressure system that is going to be coming throughout here, and it is going to be getting us on the cooler side, and I'll be definitely getting to that in my full weather.
Well, thank you, Isabel. I see some of those leaves out there have already started to change color, while the Ohio Department of Natural Resources says this year's peak fall foliage won't be for another couple of weeks. Fall color forester David Parrott says dry spring and a dry end of the summer has led to trees losing their chlorophyll earlier. The ODNR's Division of Forestry is expecting color to peak the 4th week of October for southern Ohio. One of Ohio's oldest cemeteries, the Mound Cemetery in Marietta, is embarking on a project to identify unmarked graves and replace decaying tombstones. Mound Cemetery is home to an Adena burial mound believed to be more than 2,000 years old. It's also where some of Ohio's earliest settlers are buried. The Historical Society is using $50,000 in COVID relief funds to identify unmarked graves, so they can create an updated map.
Bob Young of Greene, Ohio is officially a former state representative. There isn't a replacement for him waiting in the wings, but House Speaker Jason Stevens says a replacement isn't imminent. The resignation of the 32nd District Representative became effective earlier this week. Young's departure followed his arrest in July as part of a domestic violence case. He was charged with violating a protective order in August. Young says he plans to fight the charges against him. The Ohio Supreme Court is experiencing some deja vu as groups opposing Ohio's legislative redistricting maps are suing the court, just like they did last year. The groups are suing because they believe the newly passed maps are unconstitutionally gerrymandered. Those opposing the maps are concerned about a Republican supermajority in the legislature. Last week, the maps were passed unanimously and they were supposed to be adopted. Coming up after the break, auto workers will not expand their strike against manufacturers after they reach a major agreement. And holiday travel is quickly approaching. Are airlines for the surge? These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
Elon Musk has one rule: never be constrained by the rules.
He considers that internet world a battleground where anything is fair game.
I thought he'd be a good owner. I thought he could get stuff done.
Since Musk took over, what would you say your main findings have been?
Number one, I would say harassment has increased.
I really can't emphasize this enough. We must protect free speech.
Define free speech. Where are the limits? And what are the trade-offs?
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
You know, they say it takes a village to raise a child. And I don't know that that can be any more true than for parents of special needs children.
We are not targeting this population. We're not screening them appropriately.
It's very lonely. Very lonely.
There is no burden of a child. It is the burden of our society failing these families.
Thursday at 10 on WOUB.
On Nova, ancient Earth.
People thought it was an outrageous idea.
The planet completely encased in ice.
Some of the deepest, most intense cold Earth has ever experienced.
Life survived events that scientists previously thought were unsurvivable.
But for life to flourish again, we would need some kind of drastic change.
Frozen on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
It's not easy to do what we do.
Every skeleton we find adds more knowledge of this system of repression.
Nos encontramos en presencia de otro terrorismo, el del Estado.
A través de la reconstrucción de la vida de una persona, contribuimos a justicia.
There's a lack of accountability. In some cases, there's cover-up.
También tenemos que poner nuestro grano de arena para que esto salga a la luz.
Monday at 10 on WOUB.
A major breakthrough in negotiations between the United Auto Workers Union and automakers. The president of the union, Shawn Fain, says they've reached an agreement with the big three automakers, Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis. Fain says GM agreed to bring electric vehicle battery plants into the UAW's national contract, essentially assuring that they will be unionized. He says this is a big step in the union's fight.
We are making significant progress. In just 3 weeks, we have moved these companies further than anyone thought was possible. So let's take a look at where things started and where we are now.
Fain says though it's a major step, the strike continues. He says additional plants could be added to the strike later. The Labor Department says the U.S. added nearly double the new hires expected in September, making it the 33rd straight month of growth for the labor market. But who is doing the hiring, and what about wage increases? Laura Aguirre breaks down the jobs report.
This morning we learned the economy created 336,000 jobs in September alone. That means since I've taken office, we've created 13.9 million new jobs.
President Joe Biden taking a victory lap Friday over September's turbocharged jobs report.
It's Bidenomics. We're growing the economy from the middle out, the bottom up, not the top down.
September's gains reflect the largest monthly jump since January, and the unemployment rate holding steady from August at 3.8%. Hospitality and leisure led the hiring surge, like restaurants, hotels, and travel, areas that previously struggled to recover after the pandemic, followed by government and healthcare. Hourly average wages were just shy of estimates, but still trending up.
We still have more work to do on inflation, but also some growth in wages, especially among the lowest paid workers.
The strong jobs report could be too much of a good thing, points out some federal officials, noting that the central bank could keep hiking interest rates to fight inflation if it feels the economy is strong enough to handle them. Still, for most Americans, more jobs and rising wages are a win-win.
It means there are more opportunities for people sharing their part of the American dream.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Laura Aguirre.
Inflation gauges closely tracked by the Fed have cooled significantly since hitting highs last year, but that downward trend is slowing. It's getting colder this weekend. Joining us again with more on what we can expect going into the weekend is forecaster Isabel Isco. Isabel, am I going to need a coat this weekend?
It is definitely looking like it. We're going to be hitting those lower 50s, 40s, and once we hit those, we're going to be sticking with that pattern for these next few days. Looking at today, we did have those temperatures in those 70s, that temperature high for today in the 74. But tonight, we're going to be getting into those low temperatures, that low of 42, and we're going to be sticking to those colder temperatures. Looking at tonight, again, that overnight low of 41, that is going to be hitting right about 7 o'clock. If you're going out to the parade today for the alumni parade, for a homecoming at OU, you're going to be in those lower to mid 50s. So you will need that jacket if you're heading out there for the parade and for later into the day for the game. Looking at those last 24 hours, you could see that low pressure system come in, and we're going to be seeing those rain chances that we've had those last few days kind of subside. We're going to be out of that rain lull, but we're going to be getting into those colder temperatures. You could see that stopped there. We're in that higher pressure. We still are going to be having those clouds, but those colder temperatures are going to be what is impacting us the most. Looking at tomorrow, that temperature high only reaching those high 50s with that temperature low in the 80s. Oh, in the 80s, 30s. We're going to be looking at tomorrow. You can see that surface pressure map, seeing how unless you're on that edge of southern Ohio or on Pennsylvania-Ohio border, you might be having those rain chances. But for here in Athens, we're going to be looking clearer, just on the cloudier side. tomorrow night, we're going to be seeing the same kind of theme, and looking into Sunday, we're going to be clearing out, but still having those same temperatures throughout this weekend. You could see that in those mid to high 50s for these next few days, and Monday with the only one even having a little bit of a chance of showers. Looking at that 7-day outlook, you could see that it's these next 4 days that is going to be having us in those fall temperatures. But once we hit Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even Friday, we're going to be back into those temperatures like we've had these last few days. It's definitely looking more seasonal here in Ohio.
Isabel, when you say fall temperatures, I think that's music to my ears. But then back to the 70s, I can't. Thank you. Jessica?
I'm looking forward to those cool temps. The holiday season is fast approaching. With that are growing concerns on whether airlines will be ready for the influx of travelers. According to a new report, flyer complaints are hitting new highs this year. Ivan Rodriguez reports.
Holiday travelers could be in for another rough go at the airport this year. A new report from U.S. PERG found flying has not gotten much better since a highly problematic 2022.
Flying is still really stressful, filled with way too many delays, cancellations, fees that people don't expect, lost baggage, damaged wheelchairs, all of it.
And the threat of government shutdown could make it worse. The new deadline for Congress to fund the government hits just as travel is expected to pick up. While TSA agents and air traffic controllers are considered essential, they would be working without pay.
Then you would start seeing people call off work because they might go choose to do something like DoorDash or something so they could bring in money.
To avoid major headaches, travel experts have a few suggestions. Book directly through the airlines, try to take an early morning flight, download your airline's app. It's the fastest way to stay up to date on your flight status and to make any changes if necessary. If problems do happen, know that you do have rights. Reach out to the airlines first. If they do not offer a meaningful resolution, you can file a complaint with the Department of Transportation. Teresa Murray with the U.S. PERG says the key is to follow through.
Sometimes you think that they're just trying to wear you down and wait you out. If you haven't heard something in 30 days, then follow up. Because nothing ever is going to change unless people are willing to speak up for their rights.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Still ahead, a best-selling author is coming to Logan. We're talking to the executive director of Foundation for Appalachia, Ohio for all you need to know. And for the latest from Newswatch, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
Saturday at 10 on WOUB.
This is for you.
You got grit, I can tell you're never gonna quit. No, not even for a split second. Counting all your blessings. You got personality like Christmas got his presents, and I like it. Yeah.
I always want to create something that's going to mean something.
That's fabulous.
And I like it. Yeah.
Dare me to do something.
Don't stop, honey, gotta do your thing. I like it. Don't stop, honey, gotta do your thing.
I really want to show the world how beautiful our culture is.
There was more similarities than differences.
It makes us happy. It makes us feel good.
Yeah. So spread those golden wings. We're gonna shine like the stars. Got the
It is part of our unique story. All of us together.
This is our special time.
I like it.
Salute!
Honey, gotta do your thing.
We're going intergalactic.
Don't stop, honey.
We're going to make memories.
I like it.
We started the so-called bebop movement.
From bebop to hip-hop.
And especially jazz.
Enjoy how the great Max Roach turned the drummer into the lead and his music into a call for civil rights.
We do use the music as a weapon.
Be here when jazz drummer, composer, activist Max Roach reveals how the drum also waltzes.
Max Roach wasn't trying to be anything. He was already it.
On American Masters.
Friday at 9 on WOUB.
The Foundation for Appalachian Ohio is hosting New York Times bestselling author and PBS NewsHour commentator David Brooks in Logan this weekend. Joining us now is Foundation for Appalachian Ohio Executive Director Kara Dingus-Brooke. Kara, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. We're so excited to talk about this.
Yes, and you got the book in front of you. So first things first, how do the themes of the Second Mountain fit with the mission of the foundation you work with?
Well, the mission of the foundation is to create opportunities here in Appalachian Ohio and to serve others. And the themes of this book are really about the joy that comes from a life of service, a life of giving, a life of commitment to your community. And so it's really a perfect book. I feel like, you know, what you should know is that it uses a metaphor of two mountains. The first mountain being about living for ourselves, and the second mountain about living for our commitments for others. And I feel like a lot of Second Mountain people are a part of the FAO community.
Wow, I think I'm getting smarter with this conversation. So this event is sort of full circle. I mean, you were featured in Brooks's book, Second Mountains, for your work. What are you hoping people take away from tomorrow's event?
Well, I never expected to be in the book, but I'm hoping they take away inspiration tomorrow. I hope they just find a pause and a time of reflection and of thinking about what really brings them joy. And what brings me joy is that tomorrow we're commissioning 121 new young leaders, ages 18 to 35, who are making 5-year commitments to serve their community. So David Brooks is coming in to do a keynote to celebrate them. And that in many ways, having started, you know, when I had much less gray hair, it brings it totally full circle for me to now see young leaders taking, you know, responsibility for their community.
So expanding on those young leaders, I mean, were you once in their shoes? I mean,
I was, and you know, I actually started as an Ohio University student through an internship. I didn't know we could have a career in philanthropy. I didn't really know I was from Appalachia, and I fell in love with the way we could pull people together and make things happen. So.
Well, in that case, so when it comes to philanthropy and your mission with it, what does that look like for you and trying to make headway into that space?
For me personally?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it started with an internship. If someone's interested in careers in philanthropy, they can call the foundation. I would love to talk with them about it. But it's a way to make difference and work with people that want to make good things happen.
You mentioned you're a fellow Bobcat. Homecoming's this weekend, so thanks for giving us a slice of your Friday night. Why is it so important for people to stay in Ohio, but more importantly our region, and invest into something like that?
We need their leadership. We need the young people's leadership. We need their vision and their ideas, and we need their shoulders to the wheel with us. And our communities are really eager for it.
Oh, beautiful. So to young people that are looking to get involved, what do you have to say?
Come out tomorrow night. If you're not at homecoming, 7 o'clock at the Logan High School, it's available to anybody who wants to come and be inspired.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Kara. We appreciate you giving us a slice of your weekend. You did absolutely wonderful. So if you would like to attend tomorrow's night event, like Kara mentioned, head to Foundation of Appalachian Ohio's website. When we return, it's homecoming weekend in Athens. How well do you know Ohio University trivia? But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
There's been a murder.
How long had he worked undercover?
Years. It was like a drug. The risk, the secrecy.
I believe the expression is, follow that cab. You are positively over-familiar with certain members of the team.
I don't know who you are. You're parking up the wrong train.
We're planning to intercept them tonight.
You betrayed us.
Sunday at 8 on WOUB.
Remember, first impressions.
This is just the beginning to a change in fortunes.
I'm awake. I feel like I've opened my eyes. The world is changing.
I think we should take it to the next level.
I thought that was rather jolly. So much fun.
You make a good team.
And what will you tell the child when they ask where their dad is?
There's a war. I'll tell them you're dead.
If we can find him, we'll get him.
I'm here to make sure justice gets done.
I really love you more than anything.
It's really loud.
Shall we?
Fortune favors the bold.
It feels more like the start of something than the end.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Can we get some help in here, please?
Englehart's gone. Maybe to the nightclub.
Move out the way. Move!
Who benefits most from the death?
He's got motive, he's got opportunity. Let's keep digging.
I've told you what this is all about. Something's going on. I'll call the others.
Kicking myself for not figuring out sooner.
Police! Open up! Vantabok, the season finale on Masterpiece Mystery.
Sunday at 10 on WOUB.
Finally tonight, it is homecoming week here at Ohio University, and alumni and students are coming together to celebrate the school's past, present, and future.
To help celebrate, Newswatch reporter Jack Green went out and quizzed students on how well they know OU history.
It's homecoming week here at Ohio University, and we're out here testing students on how well they know OU history. Let's go talk to them. When was Ohio University founded?
1804.
1804? 1804.
1816. What is the oldest building on campus?
Baker?
I'm gonna go with Bentley. Is it Cutler?
It's Cutler, yeah.
Morton.
I plead the fifth.
Who is Ohio University's current president?
I plead the fifth.
Who's the current president of Ohio University?
No clue. I'm gonna have to pass on that one.
Lori Gonzalez.
What is the name of the school's fight song?
Stand up and cheer. OU fighting Bobcats. Stand up and cheer.
The Ohio University fight song.
How many dorm halls are on campus?
36.
That's exactly right.
I was gonna say 20.
15. 36.
20? 10.
36, actually. Which green has the most?
South.
I actually don't know the answer to that because that's not one of the questions. Where were Ohio University squirrels imported from?
The plains?
Continental Europe?
Virginia. Australia.
Harvard.
Harvard. That's correct. Yeah. They wanted the kids to be just as smart as the squirrels.
That's hilarious. The squirrels are actually way smarter than half of us.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
That's what I'm saying.
A squirrel could beat me.
Mm-hmm. They'd beat you in definitely a test on OU history.
100%. 100%.
That was WOUB reporter Jack Green. I gotta be honest, I don't think I could have answered half of those questions.
Oh, no, absolutely not. And then the Harvard squirrels, I mean, I guess they don't call us the Harvard on the Hogging for nothing, but Harvard squirrels.
Right? It's crazy. They're coming all the way from Harvard.
And then 36 dorm halls. I had no idea.
I had no idea.
Do I even go here?
I know.
We
got some world traveler squirrels, a ton of dorms we don't know about. We need to take a look around, I guess.
and to take that look for us is going to be Isabel Isco doing the weather from Baker Center.
And for weather tonight, we're going to be seeing temperatures going into those low 40s. Looking into the morning, we're going to see those temperatures only get into those mid to high 50s and have those temperature lows in those at 37 for tomorrow. Looking at this week, this 3-day outlook, we're going to be in those higher to mid 50s just for these next 3 days. It is because of this cold front that came through. It gave us that rain for this last few days. We were having those sprinkles here and there, but now that that is out of the way, we're going to be getting those colder temperatures, especially in these next 3 days. You could see that Saturday we're going to have temperatures just that high of 59 and that low of 37. Sunday, that high of 57 and that low of 41. And Monday, that's whenever we sneak back up into the 60s and have that low, again, only at 38. Looking at these next 7 days, we're going to be seeing that once we hit those 60s, we are going to be on that crawl back up. We're going to be getting more of those temperatures that we've expected here these last few days. But it is going to be feeling a little bit more seasonal these next few days, and it is going to be a nice wrap up too, and feel a little bit more like October here in Southeast Ohio.
Thanks, Isabel. That does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Isabel Isco and Grayson Wolf, I'm Morgan Anderson.
And I'm Jessica Stelzer. Have a good one. You can find